Welcome to First and Gold, presented by Pickett Sports, presented by Go Boys, breaking down the Thanksgiving games. We got three of them. They're not bad. They're actually pretty good games. Sometimes it's hit or miss on Thanksgiving. And to do it all, it is the man. It is Mr. BradThomas. Brad, what's going on, man?
Yo, I'm super stoked, man. Like tomorrow is one of my favorite holidays. Not only is my birthday this weekend, but it's the start of just a ton of football. You guys know me. I love football, love betting on football. It makes it even better. I'm super stoked.
It is really a great sports weekend, sports time of the year because, if you're into the World Cup, we have that. You got college basketball tournaments all day and all night.
Yep.
Throw in the NBA still, the NHL, all the NFL stuff. Pretty soon, you'll have bowl games. We got a great college football weekend. So it's a fun weekend, and let's just get right into it. Lions and Bills. All the tens are gone. We were just talking before we get on the air. The tens have gotten gobbled up, 9.5 across the board. That's sort of a dead number. I can understand the support for the Lions. 10 points is a lot. They score at home. They seem to hang around these games. What's your take here, Bills and the Lions?
Yeah, so fortunately, everyone who's in the Gold Boys chat, who follows my channel, follow the World Cup channel, I was able to get some of this Bills money line at a pretty good price. I think Bills win this game, but you'd be a fool not to back the Detroit Lions on the spread here. Like if you want to look at like change week over week from the Bills, let's take a look at defensive DVOA. The Bills went from the number one team in defensive DVOA to the number 3 team in defensive DVOA. Offensively, they went from the number 3 team to the number 6 team. A lot of that hinges on Josh Allen. His arm's banged up. You can see, like, I think we talked about this. Like, it's not the velocity that we're worried about; it's the placement. I don't think we see a Josh Allen that's going to go out there and throw it for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. All that needs for me is we get the Lions in a great spot. And one thing that I really like about this Lions team is they're hot right now. I feel like a couple of weeks ago we were just talking like Dan Campbell's on the hot seat, and he's like, "I'm gonna show you guys this win streak is something that I think is for real." I don't think they win because I do think the Bills are a better team, but it's a good time to get nearly double digits for a home dog on Thanksgiving.
And that's a good crowd, especially on
Yes.
Thanksgiving. They come out fired up. It's sort of their Super Bowl because they're always bad. And hey, like
Yeah.
you said, that they've won 2 in a row. They're 4-5. If they could somehow pull the upset, hey, 5-5. They're in the thick of the playoff race at 9-8. You got a chance to get in. So it's not like they're just playing out the string. They got a chance to get in. And I don't know if you jumped on with us. We were doing one of the shows. I think it was the Monday after Allen got banged up. We first heard he was hurt. So it was me, McAfee, maybe it was Nick. We jumped in on Miami plus 550 to win the AFC East. So I've been watching the
I
Bills
like that.
intently. And, they beat Cleveland last week by 7. Cleveland scored a late touchdown. It might have been 8. And if you just look at the scoring summary, it's like, all right, the Bills won. They won easy. But that was not the case. The first quarter and a half of that game, it
Yeah.
was all Browns. They just couldn't capitalize. They dropped a couple of touchdown passes. They fumbled, I think, right around midfield. Cleveland did. Buffalo didn't get its first down in the game till like 6 minutes left in the half.
It
So
was bad.
it was bad. Now you have Allen. You mentioned the banged up elbow. Is it good to have a banged up elbow when you're playing 2 games in 5 days? We haven't seen the red zone carries here. And then the other side of the ball for Buffalo, this is why I like Detroit, and I actually took some money line. I got a feel they pull the upset tomorrow. Of course, these words can come back to haunt me for sure. You can never feel too good about taking the Lions, but Bills have injuries on defense too with Rousseau in the secondary. And this is a Detroit team. They're getting a little healthier on offense. They can move the ball on anybody. So, they seem to play a lot of these 34, 31, 35, 32 games at home. And
Yeah.
hey, if you get into a fourth quarter game where it's a 3-point game with 6 minutes left, anybody can win it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. And one thing to monitor in this game, if you guys are into like the player props, I think a very good angle that you could take here is Jared Goff over 34 and a half passing attempts. He's cleared this number in the last eight games except one when they had a double digit lead against the Redskins. I mean, excuse me, the Commanders. Um, for the Bills, they're in a tricky situation too, Will. Like, they should have just stayed in Detroit. Like, why did they try to
Right.
go back and
Strange.
forth? That's a lot of travel in 5 days, especially when you have a quarterback who should be resting, sleeping. I know we're in 2022. Like these quarterbacks are in these nice, fancy chartered planes, but still, you're in the air. You're not comfortable. Like they should have just stayed home. A lot of travel. I really do believe that I'm going to hit this Bills money line with the +9. So I can't wait. I can't wait to give it out to everyone who's in the Gold Boys chat.
And the thing with Detroit, I mean, we know this, we've seen this. They're always in range of a backdoor cover. So even if they're down
Always.
20, down 17, a lot of teams just give up, run the ball, get out of there, punt. Campbell, it's not like he's playing to cover the spreads, but they play till the whistle. They'll call timeouts when they're down 20 with 2 minutes to go. So they'll play to cover. So you're never really out of this if you're Detroit. And, we've seen them get embarrassed a bunch on Thanksgiving. I got a feeling they hang around in this one.
Yeah, it's like teams like Detroit. I used to work in Michigan, Metro Detroit, so I know all about the Detroit fan base. Like teams like Detroit look forward to these games. Like Detroit could be winless, but I swear to God, they put up their best effort on Thanksgiving in Ford Field for their fans. Like this is going to be a fun game to watch. You know what's kind of interesting? I'm kind of in tune for this. The highest scoring Thanksgiving game, the Bills Lions.
What number they got on it?
Minus 145. But I'll probably parlay that with something. But
That's
I think that's true.
yeah, I would think because you're not going to expect, and we'll get to the Giants game. We're not going to expect much out of the Giants against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Minnesota, New England, you never know because it's indoors, but both those offenses haven't been playing well. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good bet. I know there's a minus sign in front of that, but hey, that's not a bad number right there.
Yeah, no, or you can take highest scoring team. Like, how would the Bills not put up 30 points? Like,
right. What do you get on the Bills?
Plus 110.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You got to worry about Dallas getting to Dallas could outscore you, especially if the Giants can't move the ball at all.
Oh my God,
Dallas get to 31 or 34? It's funny. They've got similar records, and you look up and that line is ballooned all the way up to 10. Before we get to the Giants and the Cowboys, any player props? You mentioned one. Any first touchdown scores? As Diggs is plus 600, the short shot. Singletary 7-1. Allen 8-1. Boy, you go a while here before you see a line, which is Jamal Williams, the touchdown vulture at 10-1. I think Jamal Williams is leading the league in touchdown rushing. Anything catch your eye first touchdown?
Maybe Jamal Williams. I think Singletary gets it, but we have to imagine they have Cook, they have Singletary, they have Allen, 3 really good running options. So if I'm splitting it with 3 people, I don't want 7-1. So I'd probably just sprinkle Jamal Williams at 10-1.
A little Swift 13-1. That's not terrible, right?
Wait, my question is, how much is Swift going to play? Have you seen the line for rushing attempts for Jamal Williams?
What was it? I didn't see that one.
13.5.
So 13.5 for Williams. They're figuring game script. They fall behind. That's probably why they're not going to be running the ball if they're down 17 in the second half, 17 whenever. My guess is that's why you're thinking it's too low. I'm guessing.
I think it's too high. If Swift's
too high.
If they're going to run the ball 25 times,
right?
Swift run. So that means Swift's going to only run 10, 12 times.
I'd have to look at his game log. What does he usually get per carry per game?
I don't know off the top of my head. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
To kind of I just want to get your thoughts on it. I was just really confused. Let's put his perspective. So DeAndre Swift, 5'6", Swift, and he's been hurt. So it makes sense. But putting in perspective, Miles Sanders is 14.5, every game.
Right. Yeah, that does seem a little high. I guess maybe you could look at it the other way and say, hey, it's a high-flying offense against Buffalo. They're going to try to shorten the game and just pound the ball, run the clock. Maybe that.
He hit it in his last 3. So
he did. So that's what book is that at?
This is on Offshore, but the line should be available everywhere. Let me check scores and odds real quick. Scores and odds, props. Williams, rushing attempts. Oh, they don't have. Well, you have rushing attempts here, guys. Come on. I'll check it out. And I'll make sure I put it.
I can look on FanDuel now.
Yeah, look on FanDuel. He's hit this number a ton, 16, 17. 24. He had 10 against Miami. 15, 19. In the only 2 games, at the beginning of the season when Swift was healthy-ish. Even in all these losses, blowout loss, 29-0. Blowout loss, 24-6. He had 15. Jeez.
Yeah, so you're saying it's too low.
I thought it was too low,
but it's not.
I think it's fool's gold if you want to bet the under.
Yeah, usually with these player props, you're like, man, that's too good to be true. And then you look and you're like, yeah, it probably is too good to be true. Yeah, I'm seeing rushing yards. I'm not seeing attempts yet. I'm sure it's here somewhere.
DraftKings normally has them.
Yeah, FanDuel, if it's here, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing yards, alternate yards. I'm not seeing attempts yet.
And then, I wouldn't be surprised if FanDuel was just I don't want to put that up right now, not until we know exactly what's going on with Swift.
Right. Who's always banged up, always on the injury report.
Always questionable.
All right. So you lean towards the dog here. You lean towards, if you had nothing in pocket, you would take the points anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm gonna call the upset here. I'm gonna say Lions win the game. We're gonna get a little Thanksgiving Day shocker.
Oh my goodness. I like it. I like it. Yeah, they
All
don't
right,
even
we
have
can
rushing
move
attempts
on.
up. So all right,
Yeah,
let's move on.
we can move on. One game I don't think we're gonna see a shocker in. Giants, Cowboys, similar records, but the line is up to pretty much tens across the board. I got a feeling you might get 10.5. So if you like the Giants, maybe wait. Boy, the Dallas is beat up, but the Giants are beat up too. And man, the Giants, they don't have a lot of talent to begin with. And
Yeah.
they're missing Wan'Dale Robinson. They're missing Adoree Jackson. That's a team very limited in talent anyway. Now they're going to be missing players on top of it. I know it's a lot of points, but boy, I'd have a hard time making a case for the Giants here in this spot.
No, dude, I agree. I smashed 9.5. I was really comfortable taking 9.5 here for the Cowboys. Oh, and when I was thinking about like what I think the scores would be, it's like 23-10, 26-13. Like Dallas is gonna move the ball. It's Thanksgiving. There's no more 9.5s left in the market. Think about this in perspective of like situations that's happened before. Like look at Syracuse in college football. When the train kind of stopped, when they started getting like banged up, the wind like came out of the sails. Now look at the New York Giants. They started losing. They started getting more injured than they already were. Wind came out of the sails. I don't want to discredit the win that the Lions had against them. Like that's a good team now. Like it's a team that we should actually be afraid of week to week. But you just can't keep statistically
Right.
underperforming because all of us metrics guys and all of us data nerds, what we say, data will always self-correct. So
Right.
regression was always due for this Green Bay for this New York Giants team. I think Dallas looks impressive. Like after that loss to the Packers, that was the best thing that could ever happen to him.
Totally agree. And that's if I'm sitting here saying, bad mouthing the Giants, they're injured, they're not that good, due for regression. Well, then you like the Cowboys. Well, that's built into the number, all this regression. Plus,
Yeah.
I never like betting a team after they win 41-3. It's just it's our nature to have some recency bias. Oh, they're the best team. You want to almost fade the team that wins by 40 points and back the team that loses by 40 points. That being said, boy, my life on the line, take the 10, lay the 10. It's just so hard to lay double digits in the NFL this year. I know I'm sort of waffling on this one. I'd figure out a way to play Dallas, whether that's on a teaser, throw it in some money line parlay with something else that you like. I would have a hard time seeing Dallas lose this game. I have a hard time seeing this being like a one possession game with, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I don't know that the Giants can move the ball. I guess turnovers are always the recipe. If you're telling me this time tomorrow, hey, the Giants pulled an upset, maybe they're +3 in turnovers, but man,
Yeah.
it feels like a game where Dallas can control it.
Like when I look at this game, I'm like thinking like, what pass catchers do I want to bet on for the Cowboys? Like, do you think I'm going to put my hard-earned money on Darius Slayton?
Oh, you mean for the Giants?
I mean for the Giants. Like, am I going to put my hard-earned money on Darius Slayton? Like, no, not a chance. Like, it's tough. This is a tough spot, tough spot for the Giants. And I said this last week in our show. Like, you should really consider Daniel Jones rushing yards because he's going to have to do a lot by himself. It's way higher this week. Last week was 30.5. It's at 38.5 this week, but I still think he clears that. When you don't have good receivers or guys you target a lot or get a lot of volume.
Or NFL receivers. Let's just
yeah. Okay. NFL receivers. It's like in your nature to run the ball when you have wheels. It happened to him last week when Robinson went down. So
yeah, the only person he can trust is himself. How about Barkley receiving yards? Figure, you know what? Dallas got a good pass rush. That's the other thing with the Giants. Their offensive line is beat up. What's the quickest thing to do? Get rid of the ball, avoid the pass rush. Here, Barkley, you take the ball. You take the ticking time bomb. I want to get rid of it. How about Barkley receiving yards as an over?
I like it too because it's only set at 22.5.
Ooh, let's go in. Stop. Pause the podcast. We're doing it. We're firing on that one now. 22.5, especially if they're losing.
Yeah, he hasn't like hit this number in a ton this season, but like when you think about the ones that he hits it in, he has like 20-yard run. 20-yard catch, 21-yard catch, 12-yard catch. Like that's the number. That's when he hits it.
Big
like
chunks.
when he has these big chunks, 15-yard catch. And then, but he has these like 1-yard catch. Like those are, he's not going to hit it then.
This is First and Gold presented by Pickett Sports, Gold Boys. Yeah, that's the other thing too. With like, you want to get Barkley involved, but Dallas is a good run defense. You can't just hand it off up the middle and expect to move the ball. You're going to need to figure out some creative ways to get it to him on screens, on swing passes. So, boy, that 22.5, I am actually going to bet that one.
Let me see what it is on legals. Oops, I spelled Barkley wrong. Take one. 20.5 on FanDuel.
Ooh, I really like that.
Like, how do you not bet that?
I like that a lot.
And it's minus 113 as opposed to minus 115 for 22.5 everywhere else in the market.
Yeah, that's one I really like.
Yeah, I like that too.
Anything? Do you have a play here? Just side total? Anything? Any way you're going to involve the Cowboys?
Not yet. I think I'm going to get down with that receiving yards. I've been burned a little bit by the Cowboys and their player props. Like, I've been trying to run the specials a lot. I like running the specials. And Tony Pollard's special was massive last week, and I did take it. And now it's back down to playing it garbage again, like plus 140. There's no specials that I like in this either. If I were to take a prop outside of Saquon, it'd probably be Dalton Schultz receptions. But I'm pretty sure that by now that line's probably like massively juiced. Like that's just a popular play you have to take. With holy smokes, minus 160 for Dalton Schultz receptions because it hits every game. It hits every game, so it's maybe a good parlay piece.
Let me put you on the spot here. You're a Tampa fan. This is a very realistic possibility. Week 1 of the playoffs, Tampa's the 4 seed. They win the division. Dallas is the top wild card. They're the 5 seed. First of all, what do you think the line would be, and who would you pick?
I think it would be 3.5 Dallas.
Wow.
And I think it would be pretty low. And I would pick Tampa Bay.
I would say it's going to be a pick 'em because you're still Brady at home just to balance it.
Oh yeah, but so the Bucks will be at home.
Bucks would be home.
Oh, I was playing it. Bucks will be the road. Yeah, I'd probably say pick 'em. Maybe the Bucks are like 1.5 point favorite max. Yeah. But I still pick the Bucks,
which would be a rematch of week 1. It would be a rematch of week 1 last year. That's a very realistic possibility. If you go, Eagles are probably going to be the one. Then you get some sort of order of Vikings, 49ers, and then Tampa will probably be the 4 seed if they win the division, which even if you have a bad record, you still get to host at least one game, which could put them against Dallas. I know this. The NFL would love that. You get Tom Brady against the Cowboys wild card weekend. That would be that's a dream for the NFL. But you'd pick Tampa. That's interesting.
Yeah, pick Tampa. And it'd be, when I'm at that game, it'd be better than going to the Eagles game. It was windy, it was cold, and it was a blowout. It sucked. I was happy as a fan, but I was like, this kind of sucks.
All right, let's go one step further here. Next, so the Bucks win. They're in Minnesota for round 2. Vikings, Bucks. What's the line, and who do you pick?
Oh my God, if Vikings are in Minnesota, like I don't think you could make Minnesota more than a 2.5 point favorite, right?
Yeah, you got to make it another pick. It's another.
Yeah, it's got to be a pick 'em, and I'd probably pick the Bucks as well.
So would I.
These matchups
we just
are
put Tampa in the
favorable.
NFC title. It's not crazy. Brady's in like the NFC title game after all this and just looking awful. And it's not like they haven't looked awful. They've looked awful at times. Awful, like a bottom 10 team. If you just didn't see the names on the uniforms, you'd think this is one of the 10 worst teams in football. Yeah. And we're sitting here, we're both like, you know what? They're probably going to be in the NFC title game.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like if the Bucks can make it like to the playoffs, they're gonna have so many players back. Like they're finally getting healthy. Like Anton Whitfield finally comes back. Like Russell Gage will finally. I think Russell Gage should be back. I know he has an injury, a knee. And look, Julio looks good. Cameron Brate should be back in 2 weeks. I think. Mike Evans is questionable this week. Like there's a lot of players that are finally coming back, but defensively, man. Hakeem Nicks is back. Man, what's the guy's name? Logan Ryan looked really good. He's looked really good. Like this Tampa Bay team is kind of like they weathered the storm. We'll see. I don't want to get my hopes up.
Anything back to Giants Cowboys before we go on to the last one? Anything for first touchdown score?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably play Zeke.
Okay.
5-1. Like, wow. Talk about who they trust in the red zone, right? Like they don't run the ball with Zeke more than 15 times in a game, regardless of if they're up or down. But what they do is run the crap out of him in the red zone. They did target Schultz too in the red zone a lot, and Schultz is 12-1.
I'm seeing on FanDuel Pollard plus 550, Lamb plus 650, Zeke 7-1, Saquon 7-1, and Schultz 12-1. So of course, as always with all these, shop around, try to get the best number.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see at that price, like more Schultz. Like when you're taking, like I think we talked about this last week. Like when you're taking first touchdown scores for a team that would prefer to run the ball first, like it's okay to take a running back because you know they're gonna have the ball in their hands. Like it's a difference than if you're like betting a Raiders first touchdown score. Like they're gonna want to get the ball in Devontae Adams' hands. It's like a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. We can move on here. Vikings and the Patriots, the night game. Vikings off that brutal performance, small favorites against New England. Total in the low 40s, looking at like 42.5. What are your thoughts of your Vikings and the Patriots?
When I talk about a game that makes me absolutely disgusting, like the Patriots are number one in defensive DVOA. They're number one against the pass. Their unadjusted totals are amazing. But the scariest thing is their variance. They're 27th in variance. For anybody who's not watching, doesn't understand what that means basically from week in to week out, they're the 27th most unpredictable as a defensive unit in the entire NFL. This is the number one defensive rated team in the NFL, and they're 27th in unpredictability. And then you look at them offensively. Offensively, they're I think 26th in offensive DVOA. But to make things worse, they're 10th in variance. So basically, what you want to look at when you look at things like that is if they're low, like let's say they're low rated defense, but they have a really high variance. That's okay, because that means sometimes you get good defensive performances, or they're a really low offense and they have a really high variance. That's okay. That means sometimes you get good offensive performances. No, they get bad offensive performances every game. I don't want to bet this game because my part of me thinks I should be betting on the New England Patriots for plus money.
Right.
But I just can't see a pathway to victory of them keeping up. Like they're just going to keep. Is Mac Jones going to turn into the next Tom Brady overnight? Because we've seen him play football. He's not good. He's just not good. It's
Are the
unfortunate.
Patriots in the market for a quarterback next year?
Zappy might be the answer, man. But like,
That's tough to go into camp and think, all right, we're settled here. We got Bailey Zappi. They'll at
it's
least
tough.
if they don't draft someone, which I don't know that they will, maybe they bring in a veteran. I don't know what veteran that's out there that would make sense. It's interesting.
I don't know, but they like I don't understand how Mac Jones is so bad at football.
And he was good last year. He has just really
Yeah,
regressed.
I think he's mental. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It's interesting. They don't have great receivers either. They spend a lot of money at receivers, but man, their skill guys are really mediocre. Man, their defense, they play well. Now, a lot of it recently has been Zach Wilson as their opponent,
Yeah.
Ellinger, Zach Wilson again, Goff outdoors. So that's part of it. But man, it's been impressive.
Yeah, this total's kind of interesting. What do you think about it? It's 42 juiced to the over.
I like the under.
I think the
Just
under, right? Like it's nighttime. Like it's
Darisaw's hurt for Minnesota, which is a big factor on the offensive line.
yeah.
New England has a couple of offensive linemen banged up. So again, you got to trust that Minnesota defense, which isn't great, but both offenses have looked really bad recently, and New England's defense looks really good. So I think under that's a low total. You know, both teams just hit 20s and you lose, but I would definitely lean towards the under in that one.
Oh yeah, Darisaw with the concussion. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he had a concussion going into last week, played, then he came out, and man, it was not pretty once he left. He's really good, and those guys, those bookend tackles are hard to replace.
Oh yeah, and then wait, we forgot the most important part. I totally forgot about this. Justin Jefferson is dealing with turf toe.
Right.
Like if you're a pass catcher, that's the last injury you want to be. Like you're cut out. Ow. Wow.
And if he's only 80%, I mean, they rely on him to be Superman. If he's only 75, 80, 85%, that's a big issue. And that could be an issue. It really could be.
This is a man. I hate teasing totals. I just don't agree with it.
No.
But maybe I watch this game and hopefully one of them scores an early touchdown. And then the total jumps to like 50, 53. And then I bet the under then.
Patriots a good teaser leg?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see them losing by 9-7. Like if they lose, it's gonna be a field goal.
Totally with you.
Yeah,
totally
like,
with you.
This is a gross game. Like just because
really
the teams are so banged up. Like from a prop perspective, like what do you feel comfortable betting? Like you don't want to take Ramondre Stevenson rush yards. Dalvin Cook rush yards, probably. But I mean, like he's been doing most of his work on big runs. Like not a lot of volume because they haven't been playing great football. Like they've been playing great football. Don't get me wrong. Like their record is everything, but
No, you're right.
like it hasn't been pretty football.
And how about Cook receiving yards? We talked about that with Barkley behind a bad offensive line. Maybe
Yeah,
Cook behind a bad offensive line. Cousins got sacked 7 times last week. Maybe there's an emphasis to get the ball out of his hands, get it to Cook. I think he's around 20 for receiving yards.
13,
He's at
13 and a half.
13.
Yeah, I think it's a lot because they've been throwing the ball to Madison a lot
Yeah.
recently. Like last game, he had one target. Like against Washington, he had a ton of targets, but Miami 1 target, 0 targets against Detroit. But he hits this number a lot, actually. Wow, he's hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, not a lot. It looked like a lot from reading here. Yeah, like Madison has been the most annoying player. Like if you're an owner of Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
You know what I wonder? I wonder what the line is set for receiving yards for my guy Hawkinson, because last week he hit his original line, but didn't hit the pregame line. Oh, they don't even have his line. Is he hurt? No, he's not hurt. I don't see a line for him.
I think that some of these probably be day of. Just I think it's weird because there's 3 Thursday games. They don't want to hang these props too early and get beat on some sort of information. So they're a little
Oh, I see Hawkinson. Holy smokes, that's pretty high. 44 and a half.
Yeah.
I would probably put it at like close to 35 and a half.
Interesting.
Wow.
Anything in your account for this one?
No, nothing. I'm not going to bet it unless I bet it live.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't find a good angle, and then with Justin Jefferson dealing with the toe, and then I do think that the Patriots still struggle to run the ball. Like it looks like they've kind of been figured out. Like after like Stevenson came in, and everyone's like, oh man, Stevenson's running for all these yards, and then teams just start once you get enough tape on a guy, you can kind of figure him out. Like I think that's what's going to happen to them.
How about first touchdown? Anything catch your eye for first touchdown?
Man, I don't know. Probably Jacoby Myers, but do we want to play a touchdown in this game? No. I can
550. Stevenson 6-1. Jefferson 650. Harris 10-1. Harris.
Actually, why are we not just playing Alexander Madison? Because even in the red zone 2 games ago, who did they play? Alexander Madison got the first red zone carry. I'm trying to remember who they
against
played.
Buffalo.
Oh, it was against the Commanders.
Okay.
When he got the first red zone carry.
21-1 for Madison. That's not terrible.
Not bad at all. Yeah, against Buffalo, he didn't run the ball a lot.
No, that's not terrible at all.
He even against the Commanders, he ran the ball one time, went for 1 yard in the red zone, then didn't touch it again for one more time. But he does catch the ball a lot too. So
I'm looking at the quarterbacks. Nothing too enticing. Cousins and Mac Jones, neither of them run that much.
no.
Cousins 34-1, Mac 39-1. Cousins actually gotten 1 or 2 this year. Remember, he got was it the first one? Was it against Arizona? And he actually took off and he looked fast. He ran for like 20 yards. Like, what the hell did we just see?
Wait, but I think like one of you guys said something about him on the show, and I was like, no way. I had Justin Jefferson. I was so pissed.
Yes, I think that was against Arizona. It was definitely against Arizona. I just don't remember if it was the first one or not.
Yeah.
And
what about this prop? Man. What about this prop? Every team to score a 1 field goal in every game.
What is it?
Plus 140. I don't like that price as much.
Every team. So you got 6 teams kick a field goal.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, how does that miss, though? I mean, you could have one team just score all time. Like, you worry about the Giants being shut out, but you figure they can at least get a field goal.
Giants are going to at least get a field goal.
You would think. Although, I mean, if they lost 34-7, would you be shocked? I don't know.
No, I think I said when I was on BetMGM today, where I was like, if the Cowboys go up 20, Giants are done. They're not kicking field goals, and I don't think that their offense is going to be good enough to come back from a 20-point deficit.
Right. And then you wonder, like, is Dallas just run the ball, run out the clock, or they run up the score there? That could be interesting in terms of the live wagering.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, nothing else here. First touchdown, no props. Anything else?
No, I think that's a bow for me. Let's see if we get this smash middle with Bills money line and plus 9.5.
Yeah, let's recap our picks. I do like the Lions plus the points. 9.5 is fine. The 10s are gone. I guess you know what? At 9.5, just keep an eye on your phone, keep an eye on your screens because you might get the tens, a lot of public
Yeah.
money. If it goes down to 8.5 or 9 from 9.5, it's not the end of the world because it's most likely not going to land on 9. If you get the 10, that's obviously a key number and a big difference. So if you like Detroit, maybe wait for a 10. And even in-game betting, if Buffalo gets the ball first, it gets like a first down, that thing might go up to 10, which is always a key
Instantly.
with live betting.
Yeah.
So I do like the Lions. I took a little sprinkle of the money line. I'm going to figure out a way to play Dallas either with the teaser or on the money line, but nothing really for me in that game. And I do like the under of Minnesota in New England. And we both agree Barkley over 20
Barkley.
receiving yards is a good play. What else? What else did you want to add?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the Lions plus 9.5, and I'll be on the Cowboys minus 10. I'm just a firm believer that the Cowboys eat in this game, like they absolutely smash.
Sounds good. All right, man. I think that pretty much covers it. I think we got it.
Yeah, that looks good to me, man. It's
What's
always a
what's the
pleasure,
food
dude.
plan for you tomorrow? What's on the menu?
Oh man, so there's this new restaurant at UCF, this new hotel restaurant. And so like my mom, she just had surgery, so we don't want her up cooking. So they're doing like a brunch, like a Thanksgiving brunch. So we're gonna like eat like crab legs, like steak and stuff, but like
Wow.
buffet style. So I'm ready to pig out.
Wow. So no turkey, nobody's cooking. You're just having a nice buffet.
Yeah, yeah. What's on your agenda?
I'm going the traditional turkey. There's some shrimp cocktail.
Okay.
Are you gonna be? Do you drink during this? Do you drink at all?
Yeah, I do. I'll have some drinks. I'm not gonna have too many tomorrow because, like, for everyone who knows, I'm obsessed with soccer. I'm having people over for the World Cup, celebrating my birthday, so we're gonna have like a ton of drinks then. So I need to
Okay.
be a little not too foggy, you know.
What's the drink of choice? What's your go-to?
Tomorrow I'm probably gonna do Moscow Mules.
Okay. Okay.
What about you? What's your drink of choice? You look like a
Probably
beer
just
guy.
have some. What's that?
You look like a beer guy.
I'm a beer guy.
Yeah,
I'm a
are you
beer
like
guy.
import, domestic?
IPAs, man. It's nice little
Okay.
IPA. I'm good to go. I get some Barkley receiving
IPA.
yards. I get some hops. I'll be a happy guy because I'll be in a good mood. I won't even need any alcohol. I'll be in a good mood because the Lions are gonna win, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good day. Like we're gonna be like, we don't need alcohol, but then we're gonna be drinking it because it's gonna make everything better.
Yes, of course. Well, everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Brad, happy Thanksgiving to
You
you.
as
We
well, man.
appreciate everyone listening. Again, tell all your friends, guys, enjoy the time with your friends and your family. We'll see you next time. We'll be back Sunday morning, 11 Eastern, first and goal, Picket Sports. Brad, happy Thanksgiving, man. This was fun.
You as
Thanks.
well. Cheers.